Hello, welcome back. We're going to get started with a gentle flow, a little bit of deep stretching, nice bit of grounding to feel centered and focused. So just start in a gentle seated shape. And then if it feels good to roll your shoulders or maybe take some really slow neck movements, just something that helps you fully arrive in this space today. And get connected with your breath. And as you come through center, start to move your chest around in a giant circle, these soupy rolls. So you'll squeeze belly on the way back and then inhale, chest forward, to the side, to the back. Keep this going a few times in one direction. I like to close the eyes. You're not worried about what it looks like. Total sensory, total feeling, all the sensations in the sides of the waist. And then just reverse the circles back the other way. You'll feel some shoulder opening, chest movement, a little bit of core, those hips rolling around. Just let it feel good, exploratory. And then as you come back through center, sit up super tall. Just switch whichever shin is in front, switch to the other one. And then take your right hand to your side, reach your left palm up and overhead into a side body stretch. Try and keep both hips glued to the ground. You can bring the elbow down or just the palm, whatever feels right. And sending breath into that left side waist. And we'll come back through center to switch. Hand down, maybe elbow. Reaching right arm up overhead. Really opening up across whole side body into intercostals. Up into the arm. And slowly coming back through center. Take it over towards the right again. This time, pull your left arm open and reach it towards the wall behind you. So you get a stretch across your pecs. I like to look down so the neck stretches as well. Reach your hand back overhead. Lift up and take this to the other side. Left hand down, right arm up. And then open it up so you expand from bottom elbow through top fingers. Take your gaze down towards the bottom palm. And just breathing into any sensation you feel. Come back through center, all the way up. And let's take this into a tabletop facing the front of your space. Hands and knees. Sit back into a child's pose briefly. Hips reach towards your heels. Start to rock it side to side a bit. Just kind of waking up the outer thighs, bringing a little sensation into the hips. Start to crawl your fingers over to the left. They can reach really far away from you as you heavy the right hip crease back towards your right heel. Again, breathing into the right side waist. Still just waking up the body, trying to get some space for the breath to move through. And we'll crawl this over to the other side. Fingers crawl to the right. Left hip heavies to left heel. You feel the expansion all the way from your fingertips through the back left glutes. Then as you come back through the middle, shift forward into a tabletop. Stretch your right leg straight back behind you so the toes are tucked into the floor, and just rock your weight forward and back a few times. I like to feel like the back calf is waking up, getting more length even as you're warming the shoulders. Really just playing with how those wrists move. And then lift your right leg up, contract into your belly, drive your right knee into your nose, round spine, and step your foot between your hands. And you might need to adjust your back knee, slide it a little further back, and light on the fingers. pull your hips back into a half split, lengthening right leg any amount and letting your chest melt over your right thigh. Like to flex into the right foot. The more you pull the toes back, the more sensation you'll feel in your hamstrings. Take a half lift. And start to move just your foot, your ankle, point through the toes, and scrunch them up and pull them back to your face just a couple times. Warming even the sole of the foot, getting the joints moving. We'll rebend right knee, squeeze inner thighs, pull the hips back as you lengthen right leg again. And take that again. Inhale to bend, chest rolls forward. Exhale to pull the hips back, soften your head. One more time, inhale to bend. And exhale, pull it back. That is your breath to movement. Next time that you bend your right knee, stay. Start to curl your hands up to the top of the thigh as if you're pressing your right thigh away from you. So you can feel that little lift of your low belly, frontal hip bones pulling up towards your face, tailbone rolling down. You can stay right here, or if it feels good, you might extend your arms up overhead, letting the legs support you and feeling this nice long reach across the side's body. Let the shoulders roll down, pinky fingers roll in slightly. Just take a breath here. As you come down, palms plant to the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then walk your back foot in a little closer as you lengthen the right leg, so a deeper hamstring stretch now. Like that back heel glued into the floor and right hip crease pulling back to really square through the hips. And you can flex your foot if you like. And be light on the fingers. Let the head relax. Nice and easy. One more breath. Lower the ball of the front foot. Start to crawl towards your left so you end up in a wide-legged fold. Your toes will face the long edge of your mat. Knees will bend as much as you need. Then grab onto opposite elbows with your palms and take a little sway side to side. It should feel pretty nice in the low back. Starting to open up the entire spine. A little more hamstring sensation with your weight in the toes. And then release through center, hands to the floor. Take a halfway lift through your spine. And fold back in. Let that undulation feel sweet. One more time, halfway lift. This time, crawl your body towards the back of the mat. And you'll find a low lunge with the left knee bent. Push your palms into the floor and step back into a high plank. First time here, let's build a really slow vinyasa. Bring your knees to the floor as you shift forward. Elbows squeeze into your side body, lower halfway down, pause. Roll the shoulders back and lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck toes, take a cobra as you lift your heart up. Soften down, your feet are pushing into the floor. Upper body is moving on an inhale, you lift chest. Exhale, melt, let the fingers get really light so you're not putting any extra tension there. Inhale, lift, hold this last one. Imagine your heart dragging through your arms. And then gentle release down. Push back through child's pose. No rush here, just take a breath to settle. And then we'll restart on the second side, so shift forward into your tabletop. Stretch your left leg back, keeping the ball of the foot tucked. Start to rock and shift your weight forward and back. Imagine how long you can get here from the crown of your head through back heel. Feel that expansion, long, energizing line. And pause in the center. Lift your left leg, squeeze your butt cheek. Driving knee to nose as you round your spine. Step between the hands. You can always grab the foot and bring it further forward if you need to. You want the front knee over your front ankle. And then pull the hips back. Take your half split. Let the head relax. The chest melt. Feel this left foot pulling back towards your face. And then Play with the foot a little bit as you half lift. You can press the ball of your foot forward and then pull the toes back again. So it's really isolating just the ankle. And especially connecting your breath into any stretch sensation you feel. Let's rebend, sink forward, and use your exhale to pull the hips back again. Press into your front heel. Inhale to rebend, your chest peels forward slightly, like you're opening your heart. Exhale, pull the hips back. One more round. This inhale, open you, and exhale, soften you. Next time you bend forward, squeeze inner thighs, crawl your hands up to the top quad. And you can adjust if you need to, but you still want to keep this front knee over your heel as you slide your left hip back a bit more. Trying to find that wrapping sensation of the inner thighs towards each other. And that way, you've got some support. You could stay here, or you might reach your hands up overhead without hiking the shoulders. Try to release the traps. Try to let them melt. Spiraling outer arms in a bit will get you tricep engagement. Nice bit of length through the arms. Take one more inhale to peel up. Bring the palms down. Tuck back toes as you lengthen both legs. Bring your back foot in a little bit closer. And pull your left hip crease back. This is meant to expand on the stretch you've already done. So a little more length across the back side of your front thigh. And flex the toes, drop the head. And we will crawl this towards your right shoulder this time into a wide fold, melting into the middle. Maybe a little deeper this time. Can you bend the knees a lot? Maybe sway side to side, bending one and then the other. Maybe like that, grabbing opposite elbows, rocking motion. Just make sure you're soft in the knees, letting all the tension fall off the top of your head. Now halfway lift and release back in, get a little softer. One more time, half lift. Crawl to your right foot into a low lunge at the front of the mat. Step back into your plank. And we'll move through this one. Shift forward. Melt your knees down to the ground. Squeeze elbows into your sides. This time, untuck your toes. Peel your chest forward as you lengthen arms. Upward facing dog if you'd like it. Down dog, roll over toes, lift your hips. And settle in here for a bit. Let your knees pedal out, one and then the other. Shift around, feel that ease, that opening. And then go for length. Send your right leg straight up and back. Open your hip and bend your knee as your foot moves towards your left glute a bit. And then re-extend your right leg straight back. Drive knee to nose, round spine, and step your foot through. If it doesn't get far enough, you can grab your ankle and move your foot forward. Always an option. But from here, put a little bend in the back knee, roll up to a crescent pose, shoulders over hips, deeper variation to the lunge you've already been in. Spine is still really long, shoulders melting, and that front knee directly over heel. Sliding right hip back. We're going to open up into warrior two. So back heel glues into the floor as you part the arms. We're just going to stay here a little bit longer than is comfortable so we can build some warmth across that right outer hip. Try to soften shoulders and reach through fingertips. Letting this right inner thigh roll open. Here's where you get to build a lot of focus. Trying to find that gaze over your front fingertips, just breathing in and breathing out. Reverse on your inhale, up and back with your right arm. Circle hands down to your lunge. Adjust the feet so you bring your left foot in a little closer. Lengthen the front leg and drag your hips back like you did earlier in your pyramid pose. And just feel that hamstring lengthen Hamstrings lengthen even more. And just a transition. Rebend your right knee. Step your left foot to the top of the mat so your big toes touch together. Take a halfway lift through your spine. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Now bend your knees, chair pose. Booty slides back, hands reach up overhead. With the weight shifting back into your heels, but your toes still get to lift and spreads. They take up a lot of space on the floor. Option to bring hands to heart if you feel any shoulder discomfort. But if it feels good, you can reach hands overhead, finding that long line through your spine. And take one more inhale here. As you rise, lengthen legs, pull your hands together at your heart. And then re-extend, hands reach high, lift your chest, forward fold, melt your spine. Halfway lift, grow long. Plant hands flat. Step your feet back to your plank. This time, option to keep the knees lifted. You'll shift forward. If you want to keep your legs lifted, elbows in halfway down. Upward facing dog, inhale, and back into down dog. Choice is yours. You can modify that vinyasa or do the full version. Let's move. Left leg lifts up. Open your hip and bend your knee. Feel that opening stretch while you keep the shoulders square. Re-extend on an inhale. Drive your knee into your nose and step between your hands. Again, try and find left knee above heel once you're there. Soften the back knee and rise up, crescent pose. And it's all about grounding this flow, so I want you to feel where your feet are. Everything springs up from there. Everything is centered from there. So feel even the front toes, back ball of the foot where your weight is. See if you can get a little longer. Spin the back heel down as you open up into Warrior Two. That might mean that you curl your left foot to the right slightly, so you have a heel to arch alignment. But then settle into this. Give yourself time to feel the breath moving through your shape. Feel what you can soften, what needs to be engaged. That focus builds, that heat builds. Take one more breath. And flip your left palm. Take a reverse soft touch on your back thigh. Keep the left knee bent. Circle hands down to a lunge. Spin to the ball of your back foot. Bring your back foot in a couple inches and then lengthen both legs for pyramid. Just feel that breath. We're not here long this time. Rebend the front knee and step right foot to meet left. Big toes kiss, halfway lift. Forward fold, sit low, chair pose. Second time here, see if you can get a little deeper. Press to rise, hands at heart center. And big fresh breath in as you reach the arms up. Forward fold, hinge from hips. Take a halfway lift. Step back to your high plank. And this time hold just a few breaths. So you feel a little more shoulder warmth and strength. Push the ground away and feel your core engage. That long line of energy from heels through head. And we'll add an optional vinyasa if you'd like it. Shift forward, knees up or down with a long spine, elbows in halfway down. Take your back bend and then meet me in a downward dog. Feel a little more length here. Glue fingertips into the floor. Really feel your foundation. All fingertips, all sides of the feet. I'm going to walk the hands back to your feet this time, but keep feet hips distance. Bend the knees and sweep your hands behind your back, interlacing fingers. Let them fall overhead. Nice bit of space in the shoulders and chest. Make sure the knees are soft. Gentle, easy breath here. Then we'll rebend the elbows. Bring hands to your low back and let them fall to the floor. Take a halfway lift one more time. And as you fold, walk yourself out all the way to that high plank. Melt the knees down to the ground. You're in a tabletop. And then reach your left hand to the sky. So you're opening into a twist, spreading through your sternum. Thread your left arm underneath you and come onto the outside of your left shoulder. It's more of a gentle twist here, giving into the floor so you don't have to hold yourself up. But push into the right palm so you're leaning back with your right side waist. Spend a couple breaths and send every one of them into the back body, into where you feel that ringing out sensation. And come back through center, left arm reaches high. Circle it down to the earth. And then lift your right leg straight back. Drive your right knee to touch your right elbow and step your foot outside your right pinky finger. You might need to tuck your back toes and slide your left knee a little further back. But then you're in this nice, gentle lizard stretch. And you can take any layer of this you like, maybe with hands to the floor. Maybe your left elbow comes down. And if that feels right, you can stay, or maybe both elbows down. This is meant to be big hip opener, letting the pelvis kind of dip down, letting your head relax. But you don't have to hold tension here. You don't have to work super hard. So see if you can just breathe into the right outer hip. And then really slow. If your elbows are down, bring your palms back to the floor. We're going to turn this into a half pigeon really slowly. Just bring your right foot to the middle of your hands and then keep crawling heel toe, till your right foot comes towards your left palm. Then angle the shin down. You can lengthen out the back leg before untucking those back toes. And if it feels good to stay upright, you can. Or maybe you start to melt your chest forward over your front shin. And just sink into this. You get to be here for several breaths, so try not to worry about what's coming next and see if you can just fully give in to this moment here. So if your body gets a little heavier, meltier, I like to make a little pillow with my forearms just so the forehead has something to rest against. And completely tune into that breath. So simple, so important. Send it into every place that you feel sensation. Use it to calm the shoulders and jaw, tension in the eyebrows. Take another full deep round. And start to lift yourself back up. Go slow. You're just going to roll over towards your right hip so that you can extend your left leg out to the side and bend your right knee so that your right foot's on the inside of your left leg. And then reach up and over with your right palm into a side bend. Just here briefly, pressing right hip into the ground. And expanding through the top fingers. And then you can take this opening like we did earlier with the right arm reaching back behind you. And that bit of space for your neck. We'll rise back up. Turn towards your left leg. Bend your right knee so your right foot can cross on the outside of left thigh, and then take a seated twist. Your left arm wraps around your right leg. Sit up tall and shift your gaze towards your back right shoulder. As you ring out, you're sitting as tall as you can, using your exhales to twist a little deeper. And then as you untangle, you'll go slow, moving first your head, then shoulders, then chest. And just pivot so that you're facing the back of your space. Come into a tabletop. And we'll restart this whole thing from here with your right hand reaching up to the sky. Thread right arm underneath you, come onto the outside of your right shoulder. Settle in here. This whole last little bit is really soft and slow, trying to get you into a deeper layer of the muscle, trying to get you to give into the earth a little bit more. Maybe it helps you release some tension or some stress. Let's come back out with the right hand high on an inhale. Circle right palm down and extend your left leg back. Drive left knee to the outside of your left arm and step your foot wide outside your fingertips. Slide your back knee a little further behind you so your hips can dip. And then settle in here. You can add some movement if you like. You could stay on your palms the whole time, or possibly bringing right forearm to the floor for a deeper layer. And if it feels okay to bring left forearm down as well, you can take that. Your left knee still tracks the same way as left toes. It's just opened a little bit wider. And feel the softness of the head. A little release in the back of the neck. And we'll come back up to the palms. Mindful of your transitions here. Just going to crawl your left foot in between your hands and then keep crawling it towards the right palm as you angle the shin down. Your left foot will be moving back slightly. Yeah, it won't be completely parallel to the front of your mat. But you can untuck the back toes, peel the chest up a bit, and any amount. Start to soften forward towards a sleeping half pigeon. This is where you let go. Give into the earth as much as you can. If you notice any really uncomfortable things happening, notice why. If it's a knee thing, if you feel a discomfort in the joints, it might need some adjustment. But if it's muscle, if it's just hard to stay here and stay focused, it's the kind of discomfort we have to lean into in order to really see what waits on the other side of it. What if you could do more than that by just softening into things that are uncomfortable instead of gripping? Actually feels better when we let go. Take another huge breath. Walk your palms back in and roll towards your left hip so you end up sitting with your right toes facing the sky. You can use your hands to help, and then left knee will stay bent, but bring left foot to the inside of your right leg. Reach left palm up and overhead towards your right toes. They do not have to touch each other. But peel your chest open towards the ceiling, possibly allowing this left arm to pull behind you so you feel that deeper pec stretch. And lift your top arm back overhead as you rise to seated. Face your left knee to the ceiling and cross left foot to the outside of right leg as you wrap right arm around your thigh, twist towards the left. And I like to imagine chin is pulling towards left shoulder, and then even the eyeballs are trying to move towards the back of the room. So you're twisting all the way from that seat up through the crown of your head. One more breath here. Slowly untangle head first. And then release the legs. Let them both face the front of the room. You're going to stay on your seat, but shake them out a bit. Long through the thighs. Reach your arms up high, sit as tall as you can. Flex the toes and start to hinge forward. Slow, slow, slow. With the low back to be able to stay really long. But once you've gone as far as you can there, then just melt your head. Drop your chest. You can hold on to the feet if you'd like. You can just release them. If the hands don't reach your feet, no big deal. You might be holding onto your shins. You might have a soft bend in your knees. But just again, drape your upper body. Might feel nice to add some dynamic movement if you want to take a halfway lift and then melt a little deeper. You can do that a couple times. I always feel that helps to let go of residual tension. You add just a tiny bit of movement into it. And roll up slow, bone by bone. Scoot your hips forward so you have space behind you to roll down one bone at a time so your back is on the floor. And bring your knees into your chest. Give them a little circle. And keep hold of your right shin. Like to circle the ankle once or twice. Take your right knee towards your right armpit. Squeeze it into the side waist. And then peel right knee over to the left as you fall into a single leg twist. Right shoulder melts. Here's where you get to sink even more. Now the floor, it's holding you up. Can you trust it? Can you give into it without resisting, without squeezing? When you are ready to come back through center, you'll just switch, pulling the left knee into your chest, right leg long. Maybe a circle or two through the ankle. And then pull left knee wide towards your left shoulder first, compressing side body, and then we'll drape it over into a twist. Try not to force. I know it's tempting to push the leg down, but instead use gravity. It's there for you. The left shoulder heavies into the earth. Left knee may or may not be touching the floor. But your focus is the midsection, this wringing out, this resetting of the spine. It's kind of the ultimate letting go. Take a couple more breaths. When you come back through center, take both knees into your chest. Open them wide towards your armpits. You might grab the backs of your thighs here. You might grab for the outer edges of your feet. But a happy baby is where we will finish off any last bits of movement. Might feel good to just hold. That sensation of the knees wide, outer hips releasing, shoulders relaxed, head relaxed. And as we close this out, feel the breath. It's the most important thing that we've been doing. Release feet. Let your legs extend to the front of your space. And we'll just find this last moment of stillness. I like to take hands to my belly if you want to place your hand somewhere else or on the floor. Just close your eyes. Take a giant breath in through nose, fill it up as big as you can. Open mouth, exhale to let it go. And feel free to stay in the shape as long as you need. But I will see you next time.